Hi, my name's James and I'm a grateful alcoholic. In recovery, I'm grateful that I was an alcoholic and I'm grateful that I'm in recovery. More on that later. Let's talk about when you finally get sober, you're riding on this pink cloud. Life starts coming at you full speed. You're playing sports again, you're socializing again. Life is great. And you relapse. What happened? Maybe you were 6 months sober, maybe 7, maybe you were a year sober. It happened to me. Well, complacency, resting on your laurels, being distracted by the goalpost, basically. Sobriety gives you lemons, and you made vodka lemonade. What happened? Well, I happen to have experience in this, the pink cloud, early sobriety, resting on my laurels. So when a couple more people join, I'll tell that story. For now, let's read the Alcoholics Anonymous Daily Reflection. Readiness to serve others, May 31st. Our society has concluded that it has but one high mission: to carry the AA message to those who don't know there's a way out. The light to freedom shines bright on my fellow alcoholics as each one of us challenges the other to grow. The steps to self-improvement have small beginnings, but each step builds the ladder out of the pit of despair to new hope. Honesty becomes my tool to unfurl the change which bound me. A sponsor who is a caring listener can help me to truly hear the message guiding me to freedom. I ask God for the courage to live in such a way that the fellowship may be a testimony to His favor. This mission frees me to share my gifts of wellness through a spirit of readiness to serve others. Word is bond. What up, Trippy Seeds? How goes it? Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. The light on my face is too much. Well, let me turn it down. Thanks for telling me. Whoa, now it's like crazy dark. I've always thought the light was too much. You should see it from here. But check it out, man. So you get sober, you're doing well, you're getting your money back, your car back, your job back, your girl back, your boy back. You're just getting it all back, like you're playing a country song backwards. Well, you get so busy with life, you forget about recovery. And as it is said in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, where was I going with that? Trippy, you're now it's too dark, bro. It's entirely too dark, and I forgot where I was going. But basically, it's like this. In sobriety, a lot of stuff starts happening in life. You start to have a full schedule, recreationally, career-wise, romantically, socially, financially, and you start to drift away. Let me just say, I have started to drift away. My memory loss. What you up to, Trippy? What you doing tonight? Maybe a little too much vodka lemonade? Drug a baboose. A bubsus. It's not too dark? Okay, thank you. Yeah, man. So your life comes back. Everything's good. You're sober. It's been hard. It's been difficult. You're doing some work. You're making some friends. You're living the sober lifestyle. Your journey is unfurling before you, and the future's so bright, you gotta wear shades. Well, I've experienced this. As you may know, I've put together a few stints of sobriety with different methods. 10 months, 12 months, 18 months, and damn near 8 years. And what happens when life gets in the way? When sobriety gives you lemons, you forget all about recovery because there's so many lemons, and you get distracted and make lemonade with vodka in it. And you relapse. What's up, Ingy? First race tomorrow, 5K. Oh, wow, I haven't done one of those yet. Sweet. You're running 5Ks, you're doing all this stuff. And, speaking of complacency and early sobriety, you lose it. And it's happened to me, and it happens to the best of them. That's why they call recovery a daily reprieve, because we have what we call built-in forgetters in our old noggin, and we forget how bad it gets when we're sober. We forget how bad it got when we were drinking, and when we're drinking, we forgot how good it gets when we're sober. Ain't that right, Shades? Yeah, bro, you're misspelling everything, Trippy. I don't know what you're vaping on, but easy does it, brother. You're drinking. I should be honest, I could tell right off the rip. You're good, Trippy. I mean, it takes what it takes. Hopefully it doesn't take your life. I'm glad to hear it, Ingrid. And that's on topic tonight, because you're experiencing the rewards, the profits of your sobriety and recovery. More friends, more activities, better health, more energy. And when all of that starts to replace recovery is when we get in trouble. You guys may know this from experience, but sobriety and recovery is not a one and done. You don't just flip a switch and you're sober for the rest of your life. It's a daily reprieve, best practiced with trust in God, cleaning house, and helping others. It's all in the steps, the 12 steps of AA and other recovery 12-step anonymous programs. Continued to take a personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Continue to establish a conscious contact with your God of understanding, and pray for the knowledge of His will and to carry that out, and the power to carry that out. So my point is this: sobriety delivers everything you've always wanted, and you get so full, and you get so happy, and you get so distracted that you relapse. It's happened to me. It's happened to many alcoholics, because it's forgetfulness of our condition is, ironically enough, part of the disorder. And your ego and your disease of addiction is crafty and cunning and baffling and powerful, and it will talk to you in a voice you may recognize, your own. Trippy, what question would you like to ask Shades? What are you wearing, Shades? Trippy. That's enough of that. The pink cloud is real, Cheese Machine. I'm maybe unrealistically hoping that I can sustain a pink cloud and call it my life. But I've been unbelievably happy and productive and healthy, and just progressing in a way that is a high of its own. This is a pink cloud, or as we lovingly referred to as a pink cloud. It's basically the joys of early sobriety. And it gets so much sometimes that people totally forget that they were recovering in the first place and get drunk or high. What up, G Smooth? How you doing? Oh, it'll sneak up on you, Ingrid. But you're running a 5K? Congratulations. That sounds healthy and super exhausting. You're the guy with the beard who makes his vid from his parents' house. Oh, shoot. Maybe a legitimate question. I thought it was a... That's okay. I've lived with my mother because life got tough in my drinking days. And I lived with my father at the, age of 32, 33 when I was getting sober. We do whatever it takes. When we're willing to do whatever it takes, that's when we recover. Sometimes sometimes we have to do. Plus, people live with their parents. It's no big deal. I don't even know if Trippy was saying it in that manner, but what is it like playing golf drunk? Trippy sees, what is it like commenting on a Recovery Channel drunk? I'm just kidding. All are welcome unless they're I was trying to mention that, Trippy. That's another thing that goes in the grips of your addiction. Digital soldier. I'm new to AA. I'm a week sober. Just got out of the hospital after quitting drinking cold turkey. After 2 days of doing so, I experienced DTs and had to be hospitalized. I'm glad you're here, Digital, and I'm even more glad that you are in Alcoholics Anonymous. That's good news. That's where we drunks belong. If this were my last breath on earth and I had one thing to tell you, it would be take all of their suggestions. Don't leave one behind. Don't think you're smarter than any of them. If you're atheist or agnostic, like I was, and they say get a God, you better find a way to get a God, because it took me long enough, but I finally have, and it finally clicked. A God of your understanding, that is. A lot of people are scared of that. I thought I knew reasons that God didn't exist. I thought it was crazy. Well, when I was desperate enough here about 6 months ago, after a 5-month long bender on drugs and booze, I was desperate enough to say, you know what? What do I know? I'm going to hand my faith over to a God of my understanding, and the God of my understanding is still not anything close to being understood by me. But that was enough. The third step is hand your will and your life over to the care of God as you understand Him. And that does one thing: that stops you from making decisions anymore. If it's not in God's will, you're not to do it. God's will never be get drunk, so you're good. But Digital Soldier, I have a couple detox and delirium tremens and seizure videos on here. If you find value in this channel, subscribe and check out some of those videos. I have a whole delirium tremens playlist. I had a grand mal seizure. I was in the ER 6 months ago, November 28th and November 29th. I had to go back because I had to make sure it took. Well, glad you're here, soldier. Yeah, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, Trippy. In fact, I think I made it worse. I think I made it all worse. That was stupid of me. But hey, I'm just a drunk trying to get along, just like everybody else, and we're all human. So, no harm, no foul, and I think Shades took it better than all of us, to be honest. Digital Soldier, I've been trying to stay on topic these days, but this topic relates to exactly what you're going through. Early sobriety, the pink cloud, the gifts that merely stopping drinking instantly delivers, and especially the gifts of working the 12 steps. Well, thank you, Cheese. Yeah, Shades handled it like a champ. Probably because he knew he wasn't, But like I said, I lived with my parents. You got to do what you got to do. And sometimes it's humiliating. Good. Our egos need to be humiliated. Our egos need to be humbled. You can either choose to get humbled or be humiliated by your disease of alcoholism. Those are your two choices. Humble up, get covered up by dirt, get locked up, or sober up. Well, thank you, Cats for Life. Yeah, me and my fish tank will be here every night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and me and my beard as well. Talking about addiction, recovery, and everything in between, especially for people like you, Soldier, and anyone else that's new in sobriety, including myself. I like to stay new, not meaning I like to relapse and be new all the time, although I have done that over the course of the past 2 decades. I like to keep a fresh mind, like I'm new, stay humble, stay ready. As the gifts of sobriety are delivered and life comes back, we start to lose our desperation. It's a gift, desperation, G-O-D, gift of desperation. An act of God, maybe, has been suggested. G-O-D, gift of desperation, is bestowed upon us, and we get humble, and we get willing, and we get honest. And we get willing to do whatever it takes. So there's nothing wrong with Shades, there's nothing wrong with me, staying at my parents' house. I still got a life. How's Steven? I talked to him a couple months ago. Steven is Steven. He, well, we're all just on this messed up ride together. So, I made sure he was doing all right. Next time I see him, I'll ask for you. Yeah, he's alive. He makes it by the skin of his teeth sometimes. That guy's a trip. But Soldier, I'm glad you made it out of the hospital. And was the spark still there? Oh yeah. And it sounds like, it doesn't sound like, if you're in an AA, you're doing the right thing. That's a power move in the right direction. So the times that life has gotten in the way of my sobriety got me life, and life got in the way of sobriety. It ain't happening no more, because of my experience and because of Alcoholics Anonymous and God. I've been taught these things. AA teaches you not to rest on your laurels. It's in the book, resting on your laurels, meaning you're comfortable. Sobriety brings you comfort and security. You get a little too comfortable and you get drunk. It sneaks right up on you. Every day we get reminded, thanks to newcomers, the people that are struggling in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, we get reminded of people that have gone out, quote, road testing. CJ, yo, what up? Bonnie, tomorrow I'm 1 year and 3 months sober. It was a rough road, but I'm glad I'm still walking. Hell yeah, Bonnie. Right on. How do you feel? Pink cloud? Just a cloud? Black cloud? What's your clouds looking like these days, Bonnie? What's your experience with with getting complacent, maybe slacking off, not practicing the daily reprieve, and slipping back into old habits? Yeah, trippy, whatever. I'll tell you what, become a member and you can view over 100 members only videos for a 3rd tier membership to the Sober James channel. Click that link in the chat. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Join the channel and you can view the videos. Some of the videos I am still not sure. I'm waiting for God's will on whether or not to put them up. That would be one of the problems is that the drunk videos are entertaining. That's a problem. Entertainment for drunks like me and you is not necessarily what's good for us. CJ, never knew alcohol could get so gnarly until it was too late. Welcome to the club. Sneaks up on you. It's baffling what we do and how we did it. And it's cunning because it'll do it to you again. And it's pretty powerful. You got the good life, do you, Bonnie? Well, good. Yeah. Every minute away from your last drink is a better minute. My worst days sober are better than my best days drunk. Yeah, I know that too, Bonnie. But nothing in life comes easy. Nothing good in life comes easy. I mean, just take a drunk, for example. Sure, it feels good at first, but it takes everything right behind your back. Yeah, the laundromat. Nope, there ain't no free lunches. And as far as life goes, we got drunk. Alcoholics get drunk because we can't handle life. It's not our fault. It's just the disease. Emotions, cognitive behavior, stuff like that. So when we get sober, we got to deal with life or drink and die. So, I mean, we all know which path we'd like to choose, and it's a life. We all want things in life. Sobriety delivers everything we need, and it turns out we learned that what we wanted is no good for us. My ego was doing the driving for damn near my entire life. My ego was doing the driving. I ripped it out of his. I ripped the steering wheel out of his hand and gave it to God. I said, "You ain't driving no more, man. We've been driving through all kinds of bad neighborhoods. Damn near 40 years. You've been taking us through ghettos and shit, wastelands and trailer parks, volcanoes and earthquakes." Oh shoot. He'll carry us. Trippy, you drunk, son. You're gonna regret this. Bet. Bet I'm a good driver. Well, I'm not doing the driving. A God of my understanding is doing the driving. Well, let's say I got my permit and God's in the shotgun seat and he gives me directions and which roads to turn down, which roads to steer clear of. And I listen. God's my GPS. God positioning system. I got me a God positioning system. And yeah, God's a good driver. He's teaching me well. Yeah, you got that. The only reason, yes, thank you. I'm glad you're proud of me, Cats. I saw your message on my latest live stream. I'm glad you all are proud of me. But I cannot forget that my best ideas get me drunk. And that I wish to share with you guys so you, when it's time, you learn that's the way too. God's will, not mine, be done. Well, that's the other thing about trusting in God, Bonnie, is if for some reason you're not driving, thy will be done. You know what I mean? I trust that maybe I'm not driving right now for one reason or the other. What up, Jay Tabor? I was ready to take this channel down if that was God's will, and God showed me that it wasn't. If any moment comes where God, and he doesn't talk to me, I'm not a crazy person. I ask him for the knowledge of his will and the power to carry that out. And then I just wait. And it works. It works immediately when you hand it over and say, you know what? My ideas have been getting me jails, institutions, and death. My ideas have been losing jobs and relationships and car keys and cars. And you say, you know what? I'm ready to trust in God. I'm not driving this anymore. You realize you weren't the director the entire time. You just thought you were. Got a job offer, 32 an hour, but I need my license. Went for my on-road the other day, and my dumbass brother brought the wrong insurance card. God's will be done, if that's God's will. I've driven to a meeting that was... I've driven to an AA meeting these past 2 days that I was mistaken. It was on a different day. So I'm wasting gas money and wasting time by driving 20 minutes to a meeting that was on a Thursday, not a Wednesday, and a Saturday, not a Friday. You know what I mean? But I feel myself getting pissed. And I say, you know what? If that's God's will, and I just start looking around for what he is about to deliver for me. Today I got a couple special things. I got some new shorts, a little afternoon delight. So God's will be done, not mine. I can't be pissed that I accidentally mistaked, in a meeting. Good night, Cats for life. Jay Tabor, this is my livelihood. It's like, come on. Are you for real? I had an explosion of anger. Right. I know. However, I now know that I don't know shit. And it might be happening for a reason. And I accept it. I had anger at first too, but these days as I grow and my spiritual awakening continues to happen, I don't stay angry. I'm like, you know what? That's silly, and just laugh at it. And then I literally just look around, wait and see what that day is gonna bring. Because when I'm trusting, yeah, let God take the wheel. Like that Vine on YouTube. Let Jesus take the wheel. I'm telling you, Bonnie, I don't know if you're practicing Alcoholics Anonymous principles, but that is probably the top one. Trust in God. You know why we do that? Because our best ideas got us drunk. My best ideas for 40 years have been getting me all kinds of stuff. Comas, DUIs, seizures, jails, institutions, death, detox, rehabs. Sure, I've made some good decisions, but when I look at it as a whole, my thinking is messed up. Alcoholics Anonymous showed me that that's because I have a disease of alcoholism. And to get out of my head, I trust in God and I help others. And that's AA. That's all Alcoholics Anonymous. And when I do that, my life grows exponentially in the positive direction. And if I take the wheel back at any time when it is growing and when it is overwhelmingly good, I'll forget my sobriety. And you got to put your sobriety first. Every day, you got to put your sobriety first. Any day that is today. Don't drink. Trust in God. Clean house. Help others. Sobriety first. Even when sobriety delivers you a life beyond your wildest dreams, you still practice sobriety. And this is coming from a man who relapsed on his 8th year of sobriety from alcohol and other deadly drugs. If you don't want to answer, you don't have to, but I'm always interested. What'd you ask? It went too quick. You always skirt the question, what do you do for a living? How do you pay your bills? How do you pay the rent where you're living now? And not YouTube. I'm trying to be a YouTuber. I've answered that before. I also day trade on the stock market. I've answered that before. I also watch dogs. I got a pair of big dogs coming to my house for like 3 or 4 days in a couple days. I think I've answered that before. I've also said, it's really, I mean, you, sure, I'd tell you, but I'm also telling the entire internet. So like, I'm wary of how many times I describe personal things about myself. I think that's a legitimate boundary to set when talking to the internet. So yes, I'm trying to be a YouTuber. I have done well on the stock market. I'm not doing too well. I don't know how much I want to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why you keep asking. What was the relapse like in the beginning? We drink because we like the effect of alcohol. In the beginning, it was like reunited with an old friend, but not for long, because I was getting blacked out stuff. Bro, I work for my money. I do whatever it takes. You're a member, you know that. You know how much I basically Jay Tabor, our best ideas, they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? That includes opinions. They're often wrong. Bro, I could show you whatever. Did I continue drinking due to withdrawal? Yeah, that was I've had a seizure before, so due to the heavy amounts of alcohol, when it was time to quit, I didn't I couldn't. And I had to go to the ER and get meds. I've been to detox 7 times. I knew in my gut that I could do it. I could quit without it. I just need the meds. And I knew it wasn't just my addiction seeking drugs either, because I was serious. When you get serious, you get serious. I know how cunning, baffling it can be, sneaking up on you, just doing benzos when you think you're going to quit. But I also know what I feel like when I'm serious. But yeah, I did drink continually. In the beginning, it's hard to explain that. I've relapsed multiple times in my life. I knew this time I was going to drink heavily, so I just started drinking heavily. I didn't fool myself by buying the top shelf liquor and stuff like that, because that always turns into bottom shelf. Oh, shit. Well, stop assuming things, Jay Tabor. I had to go to work. Were you here when I got a job? I applied for a job for scooping fucking dog shit and got a job to be a maintenance man, except I'm a twisted alcoholic and my ego was running the show, so I wasn't going to AA, so I didn't know how to keep a job. You can think what you think. I don't care. Thanks for being a member. That's all I know. I get them. You have no idea how much I work on this channel either. All right, I got you. No harm done. But yeah, that was in my 8th year of sobriety that I relapsed, and it was because I drifted away from the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. I got complacent. I thought that's the very beginning of every relapse. I thought. No, I'm just well, there was somebody in the thread that just got out of the hospital, and there's also some people asking what the relapse was like. The relapse is when you forget that you can't think your way out of alcoholism. I thought doing the first step of Alcoholics Anonymous was enough. I thought I knew I could never go back to alcohol, and that was that. I thought my life had gotten so good. I bought a house. The stock market was bumping. I thought everything was going right. I thought is the first step to relapse. I'll be right back. Relapse happens, and Yeah, when sobriety gives you lemons, we make vodka lemonade because we get distracted by all the lemons and how good life's going in sobriety. I tell you this from experience, and I care about you and every alcoholic and addict. And when we get complacent, when we get cocky, when our ego starts to drive again, we get further and further away from God. Ego, E-G-O, easing God out. And we stop going to AA meetings. When that happens, you're in trouble. I've been listening for years, but especially after I've been granted the gift of humility and a spiritual awakening, honesty. I've been listening to people that relapse, and at one point in their story, they're going to say, I drifted away from AA meetings. They may be in denial, but it'll come out of their mouth. I had stopped going to meetings. I thought. There's always an I thought in there. Everything starts with I thought. Well, our thinkers are broken. An addict, an alcoholic, our thinkers are broken. And when we think life is good, when we're riding on that pink cloud, we actually forget about sobriety. Everything we put before sobriety and recovery, we will lose. It's happened to me before. It has happened to me before. And when I say everything, I mean everything but my physical life. Homeless, jobless, familyless, friendless. When I say these things, I mean it. When you put anything in front of your sobriety, you will lose it. For example, if you say, if you can't get your license back, Tabor, for the next couple of months, just obstacle after obstacle and obstacle, and you start getting your license back before your own recovery, it might take a year, it might take 2, but you'll lose your recovery, you'll lose your sobriety. If you put a job, a relationship, if you put a house, if you put material things, if you put even relationships in front of your sobriety, you will lose everything you put in front of your sobriety. Tabor's got alcohol in his freezer, hasn't been touched in a year or more for guests. But if there was cocaine or heroin in the house, it wouldn't last a minute. So I know what you're talking about, Tabor. I have a prescription to Adderall, and that's just not my thing. I know people that couldn't have it in the house. It's just not my thing. I take it as prescribed. And withdrawals happen deep in your brain first. It goes mental, emotional, physical. Mental, you start thinking the wrong things. Maybe you're triggered. Emotional, you feel a certain way, and then physical starts with physical. You start doing the same things, hanging around the same people, going the same places, people, places, and things. And then you drink or use. I take most things, but with speed, it's mostly downers, depressants, Xanax, booze, opiates. Oh, even opiates get me all hyper and stuff. But if you ask me, alcohol's a gateway drug, Tabor. So if you get too drunk, you might have no inhibitions against cocaine use. You feel me? CJ, once you go through withdrawals, are you considered kindled, or does that come from multiple withdrawals? Kindled. It depends on how old you are. It also depends on how much of the substance you've been using. Alcohol, benzos, and barbiturates you can have a seizure from and die. Your central nervous system. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen from alcohol withdrawal. It depends on how heavy your consumption was, how long you've been consuming, how steadily, and how old you are, too. I used to drink until 4 in the morning and wake up, go to work for the Navy at 5. I was in my 20s. In my 30s, I had a grand mal seizure from trying to come cold turkey off of benzos and booze. And that wasn't happening. Detox is suggested. I have videos about that on here as well, CJ, along with alcohol withdrawals and seizures. But I'll just tell you this. If it is available, and you'd be surprised what a little research could do about getting into a 7-day detox. They give you supervised benzodiazepines, and that prevents seizure and withdrawal. This time, for me, I was being guided by a power greater than myself. I went to the ER, got Librium, came home. The Librium wasn't touching me. I was feeling like I had to drink. I was feeling anxious, shaky. The withdrawals were coming harder. And something must have guided me again that was more powerful than me or my addiction, because I went back to the ER. I got a ride on the 28th of November, got the wrong dose of Librium, but I didn't know it yet. I just felt like it wasn't touching me. There was a chance this was my addiction trying to get high or drunk again, but a power greater than me led me back to the ER on the 29th. My dad drove me that time. You got to do whatever it takes. And I waited the hour or two and got to the doctor, and the doctor said, whoever sent you home with this dose gave you too little of a dose. He gave me the right dose, and I successfully tapered off of booze and the Librium through a little supervision. I was being guided, I'm convinced, by a power greater than myself. But like I said, you know yourself, and you know when you're serious or not. And so do the people around you. When you're serious about getting sober, they come out of the woodwork. People that didn't trust you the day before. When you're serious, they can sense it. Hey, Michael. Oh, you feel good, man. That's good news. Blah days are all right. That's called life. We addicts have a way of wanting everything to be awesome. Well, blah is awesome. I'm happy to hear that, Michael. What up, Kopic? I didn't see you there. Yeah, man. The bottom shelf vodkas and shit. Oh my goodness. In my early days of relapsing, I would fool myself by getting the high shelf stuff and be like, all right, well, I'm not that bad. It always turns into, you know what I mean? The affordable stuff. But yeah, good to see you, Michael, and CJ, hang in there, brother. I think you were the one that was struggling. It depends on your age and how much you're consuming, but withdrawals, you'll feel it. It's uncomfortability, it shakes, sweats, insomnia, sometimes a lack of appetite, and then on the second day it might get a little worse. On the third day, I had my grand mal seizure. It started earlier in the day with black spots in my vision, like I had a head injury. Well, when you drink as heavy as I do, you drink the affordable stuff. I don't know. Thank God I never really had money. Because, dude. But when you drink as much as I do, you drink the affordable stuff. Yeah, I don't know about all that, man. Yeah, sure. Dude, any commercial product is suspect. You hear me talking about dog food and stuff. Half of our food is suspect. And some alcoholics drink. You know what I mean? Some people will live. You know what I mean? I've lived through some shit that a normal person wouldn't normally live through. I've had 7 concussions, comas, seizures. I've been hit by cars. I fell off of, fell out of trees. Been in countless fights. The fact that I'm here has to be a power greater than myself. Then again, I could pick up tomorrow and die. It's nothing to F with. Whether it's top shelf or bottom shelf, it's all poison. Yeah, Benadryl works for me too. Yeah, bro. I mean, maybe you're right about that. The cheaper the booze, the harder the fall. But to be honest, it's just alcohol. The drug alcohol. When taken steadily enough at high enough doses, you will experience withdrawals. What was the most you recorded drinking in 24 hours? Anyone, honestly, I can't remember. I know it's probably been more than this, but in my good days, I will stick to beer because I drink liquor at the same speed that I drink beer. So, like, do the math. So I just stuck to beer because I'll drink liquor as quickly as I'll drink beer. So, like, I wanted to at least stay not blacked out for a little bit. So I drink beer, and then the only count I can remember is one of my girlfriends said, "Dude, you drank 67 beers today, or yesterday, or whatever the hell." But I'm sure I drank more than that. If sometimes I wonder if I had all the empties of all the alcohol I've ever drank, I think I've estimated conservatively that it would fill up a gymnasium from floor to ceiling. And that is a realistic estimate. I mean, I've brought bottles and cans to the recycling from just a weekend of drinking. There were 5 cents a can, got $80. I remember that too. Kindling. So what is kindling? And what is GABA? One of my relapses, I had to go to. I was on an emergency trip to detox. Like, I had to drop everything and go, or else it wasn't gonna happen. And my stepmother and sister came to clean up the house. They said every flat surface was covered with an empty beer can or vodka bottle. The kitchen counters, the coffee table, the end tables, every flat surface had empties on it. At one point, you just stop cleaning up. GABA receptors in the brain due to alcohol withdrawal, but it can also happen from benzo withdrawal. I've heard of it, but just by another name. Yeah, bro. Alcohol withdrawal is no joke. If anyone's facing it, seriously consider detox or the ER. And as my uncle said, health first, money later. If you got to go to the ER on credit, you do it. Worry about how you're going to pay for it later. And also, I've negotiated out of $1,000 hospital bill, the one where they gave me gabapentin, and then I was eating that like candy. I went to the ER once to detox. They gave me gabapentin, and I started eating it like candy. Well, anyway, the ER visit was like it was $1,000+ My dad said anything's negotiable, and this was a month or two after. And I stayed on the phone for a couple hours, and I said, you know what, I can't pay. Can't pay. And they're just like, all right. And apparently they have a quota of, bills that they have to resolve, whether it's negotiating or not. So anyway, my point is health first. If you have to pay for detox, pay for it on credit, borrow the money, do whatever you got to do. Alcohol withdrawal is deadly, can be deadly. There's also the chance with the right vitamins and everything, or the right treatment, that you can make it just with a horrible hangover for 3 days with the shakes and stuff like that. But there's also the chance of seizure and death. All right, y'all, my neck hurts. I'm about to get out of here. To wrap it all up, sobriety's awesome, but sometimes it gets so awesome that we forget about our recovery practice. Recovery from drug addiction and alcoholism is a practice, in my experience, and in the experience of the experienced. I say that because it's not just my opinion. Sobriety and recovery is a daily reprieve. And CJ, hang in there, do a little light research on alcohol withdrawal detox resources. 3 days with a fast metabolism like mine, you'll be over the hump. 4 days, you're good. Everybody's different, but that's my experience from alcohol withdrawal. Is first day sucks, second day sucks, third day there was one time where it sucked so bad that I couldn't see and I had a grand mal seizure. I will say right after the seizure I felt like brand new, like it had shorted a circuit. But the benzos that help alcohol withdrawal, Ativan, Librium, I'm sure Xanax and Klonopin do it too, but if you give me those, we might as well just go to the liquor store, because I'm not going to remember anyway. I'm joking, of course. If you have a problem with Xanax and Klonopin like I used to, you got to be supervised while you detox, period. But benzodiazepines will do it. The reason I don't say try to taper off of booze by drinking less is because we have a mental obsession and a physical phenomenon of craving that occurs, and it is impossible for the alcoholic to responsibly come off of booze with less and less booze. And if you don't believe that, prove me wrong. That'd be pretty cool too, if you prove me wrong and did it. But theoretically and technically, you can taper off of booze by just drinking less and less booze until you're at zero. I spent 20 years and not once did that work for this alcoholic. I'll just tell you that. I always ended up just drunk again. With benzos left to my own devices, I ate the gabapentin. That's an anti-seizure medicine, but it also feels good. So ask any prison inmate these days and they'll tell you they'll tell you all about getting high on gabapentin, and I got high on it and had to give it to my dad to tapering doesn't work. I was able to do it with Librium, but just barely. And I was serious. I was serious about coming off of booze. It was death, destruction. I had dogs looking at me funny. I care about my dogs and I care about my life. And sorry, my autofocus. Anyway, I did it this time. I went to the ER. They sent me back with Librium. Now, to say that I took those as prescribed would be a lie. I took them until I felt good. Librium, not lithium. I think it's Librium. But yeah, you end up with a phenomenon of craving. But I did make it and didn't go back for more Librium. And I was off of booze. I was off of Librium. I did my first stream on Librium when I came back. You can look it up in the playlist. I'm on a Librium taper. I forget what it was. I was newly sober on a Librium taper. That's when I started streaming again. That's in the playlist, Sober James Addiction Recovery live streams. There's over 100 videos for third tier members. So if you like the value of this channel, help me carry the message and consider joining. The link is in the chat box pinned to the top. It'll also be in the description and on my channel page. And with every tier, there comes a membership, perks, emojis, badges, and the third tier for like $8.99 a month. You get access to members only videos. Oh dog, I want to stop smoking weed. I'm talking to my sponsor again, going to meetings again. Nightly inventory again, calling daily again. James, do you think I can slowly quit like you did? Yes. I quit weed. Now, Daniel will disagree with me here, but weed for me, and I smoked a lot. I was growing it. I had literal pounds of the good stuff. And I was smoking joints like they were cigarettes. I was going through, I would smoke a gram and a half, maybe every hour and a half. I mean, I'm talking a lot. So I just quit. It was because I just quit. I didn't give it away or destroy it or anything. I ran out. I did sell most of it, or I didn't. I was lying and kidding when I said that just now. And you know what I'm saying? I got rid of everything, the paraphernalia, everything. I got rid of it. Well, like I said, when you're serious, you're serious. There are no deadly withdrawals from cannabis. There are withdrawals. Daniel will tell you the details on the withdrawals, but it's nothing close to opium. It's nothing close to nicotine. It's just, you're kind of pissed off. But some people go through different things. For me, here's what I said. Here's what I say to myself when I want to quit something. You know, when you're trying to quit nicotine, you're trying to quit cigarettes, and you've went a week without it, you're physically off of cigarettes if you go a week without it. And then somebody fires up a cigarette right after you had a big meal, and you're like, yeah, I think I'll bum a cigarette off of this guy. Here's what I say to myself. You want to be a non-smoker? Then don't smoke. Just keep it simple, stupid. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what I tell myself. You want to be a non-smoker? Don't smoke. Here's the other thing I tell myself. You're going to be uncomfortable through the withdrawals from any drugs. Benzos, barbiturates, and alcohol, you have to consider detox because you can die. The other ones, including heroin, you're gonna feel sick. Physically, you're gonna feel like you want to die. But, and with cannabis especially, put your shoulder down and barrel through it. You don't want to smoke cannabis? Don't smoke cannabis. That's what I tell myself, and it works. Now, to say that that's worked every time would be a lie. I'm an addict. These are powers greater than myself, however, and I'm back into vaping. I'm like, you don't want to vape? Don't vape. Oh shit, there's a Tyson vape on sale. I had a bad day this week, like a super bad day, where I said, you know what? Vaping's the least I could do for myself, so I went and got my little binky, and it was on sale. But as far as quitting weed, in my experience, if you're willing to go through a day or two of being pissed off and uncomfortable, barrel through it, you'll be fine. You know when you're serious. I was hanging out with somebody today that was smoking weed. They said, is this cool? You gonna be tempted? I'm serious, and I knew in my heart, nah, I'm good. With trust in God, well, a day or two is the serious part. Then there's times where it'll come back to you. Your addiction will creep in your head. Mentally, you will be like, well, maybe I can smoke with other people and just not keep it in the house. Deaded. That's where that saying comes in. If you want to be a non-cannabis smoker, don't smoke cannabis. If you want to be a non-smoker, nicotine and shit, don't bum that cigarette. You're not going to just bum one cigarette and then not smoke for the rest of your life. You're going to take up smoking again. I say, James, if you want to be a non-smoker, don't smoke. And like I said, we're addicts, so you got to give yourself some grace. But if you're serious about quitting weed, it's one of the less physically addictive substances. In fact, I thought it was not physically addictive, but there's been more experienced people than me that say it is. But yes, I do think you can quit smoking weed just like I did. I think you can do anything that you're serious about. If you do whatever it takes, which is going to be my next tattoo because it's so true. If you're ready to do anything and you do whatever it takes, you got to be willing to do whatever it takes. And that means throwing out your favorite bong or selling it. Bro, I loved growing weed. I loved it. It wasn't just part of my addiction. I just loved growing weed. And when I was serious, I sold it. I sold it all the grow equipment, everything. Got rid of for a great price. Not too good of a price for it. It was. I got what I needed and got rid of it. But yes, to answer your question, if you want to quit anything, you can. With certain drugs like alcohol, barbiturates, and benzos, you have to do it medically. Nicotine's a beast as well, but you can do it cold turkey. Our addiction will talk us back into it and stuff like that. But if you put your shoulder down and you do whatever it takes and you barrel through those 3, maybe 4 days of serious uncomfort, you'll come out the other side. There's someone who I haven't seen tonight on the chat that is going through opiate withdrawal, and he took my advice on that, and he's on his 3rd day today. I can only hope that he's not here because of another reason, but he's doing well. I would also say go to meetings. You do whatever it takes, and you'll get over it. That's my humble advice. And I know, trust me, I know, it's not just difficult, it's damn near impossible because the disease of addiction will lie to you in your own voice. That's where it's a we program. You get support. I'm not sure, Trippy. I'm not too versed on that. I would say no. I would say yes for comfort. but no for physical symptoms. Opium and cannabis are two different drugs. Opium is a opiate and it's physically addictive. Cannabis, even though there's varying views on whether it's physically addictive or not, still is not the same vein as opiates. So, to answer your question, Trippy, if you smoke weed when you're coming off of opium, you may feel a little better, but you also may still have the physical withdrawals. The dope dad. I'm 3 years sober. You all can do it too. This 40-year-old man is proof it's possible. Thanks for your experience, strength, and hope, dope dad. Dope dad. Right on, man. I'm happy for you. You can verify this stream's topic was don't get complacent in sobriety, or addiction will sneak back up on you. And I would stay longer, but my neck is killing me, and I'm gonna go ice it and lay down. If this brought you value, give it a thumbs up. Consider joining with the link at the top of the chat box to join the channel. Help me carry the message. I will see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and every night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with addiction recovery and everything in between. Do whatever it takes. And until then, keep it clean, keep it real, and keep doing the damn thing. Peace.